Hello and welcome to Djcharlie Sports World. Today's segment is going to be on Djcharlie's English Premier League season predictions for the 2023-2024 Premier League season. I'm going to be going through the 20 teams, predicting their standings, meaning by the end of the season where each teams will be placed on the table. The Premier League has 20 teams competing to be in the in the Premier League next season, not to be relegated. Then they are also competing for Champions League places, and obviously they are competing for the English Premier League title, of which Manchester City, led by Pep Guardiola, are the defending champions. So I'm going to be predicting the top 20 standing for this year's Premier League season. Then the prediction will also include the award, like the top goal scorers, the top assist makers, the team of the year prediction, the player of the year prediction, and the young player of the year prediction. But for this segment, we are going to be talking about the standings, meaning where the 20 teams will be placed, the relegating teams, the middle of the pack teams, the teams that are eligible for European competitions for next season, the Conference League, the Europa League, and the Champions League. And then the ultimate winner will be, of course, the number one team. So I'll be starting from the 20th position. Luton, for me, will be the 20th place team. They are going straight back down from where they came from. They were lucky to qualify through the playoff last season. They got promoted to the Premier League for the first time in their in the history of the club. So for me, they are going back down because I waited for the first month of this season to go before I do my own season predictions, and from what I've seen, they are not a Premier League team. They are going straight down. I don't know where their goals are coming from. The 19th team will be Sheffield United for me. I don't understand their strategy. They sold their best player to Burnley. Their best player, they sold it to Burnley, and I don't know where they think their goals will come from. They have McBurney spearheading the team. I don't know how he will come. He needs at least 20 goals this season to keep them up, and I don't see that happening. So they are going straight down. And the 18th position was a bit difficult for me. It was between Burnley and Everton, but I had to go for Burnley, and I will tell you the reason. It will mean that the 3 promoted teams are going down. That is unusual. That doesn't happen usually, but for me, it will happen because Burnley, they are coached by one of the greatest Premier League defenders of all time, one of the greatest leaders and captains in the Premier League I've ever seen, in Vincent Company of Belgium and formerly of Manchester City. So he's a student of Guardiola, and for me, he's basing his team on Guardiola, and they will be too open, and they won't get enough goals. They instead of blocking better positions and trying to dig out points, they'll be too open, and obviously it has already been happening to them. They have leaked in over 10 goals already in just 3 matches. So for me, they are going straight down. They are going straight down. The 17th team will be Everton for me. They would just like they escaped on the last day of the season. I also predict that they are going to escape like that. It's going to be hard fought for them though, but I think they have enough quality to evade dropping into the Coca-Cola Championship this year once more. They might not be lucky next season, but for this season, for me, they will still make it. Number 16 is Wolves. Wolves is now a typical middle of the pack team, fighting relegation and escaping at the end of the season. I see them having enough to avoid relegation once again. You saw them face Manchester United on the first day of the season, and they were superb. They only lost that game narrowly to Manchester United contentiously because they weren't given penalty when Onana hacked down 2 of their players in the box. So for me, they will have enough to make it to next season's Premier League. Number 15 for me is Bournemouth. Bournemouth are a solid team with good players. I see them making it with players like Dominic Solanke, Philip Billing and co. They should make it into next season. Number 14 for me is Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, I don't know what I can say about Nottingham Forest other than they are a solid middle of the pack team. They surprised me by avoiding relegation last season, and even I was tipping them to go down this season. But funny enough, the first 4 matches of the season they have been superb. We have strikers like Taiwo Awoniyi, who was nominated for the Player of the Month for August rather. Then you have young players like Elanga coming through. They sold Brennan Johnson to Tottenham though, but I see them hanging on to the 14th position. Number 13 is Fulham. Fulham lost their star striker to Saudi Arabia money. That's they lost him to Mitrovic. They lost Mitrovic to Saudi Arabian league, but surprisingly they have even scored more than they did in the early part of last season, and they are going to avoid relegation fight this season. For me, they are going to be 13th. 12th position will be Crystal Palace, one of the solid home teams. They protect their home field mostly. That will really help them. They will have enough points at home to stay up. I predict that they'll be 12th this season. They lost Wilfred Zaha, their best player, but they have cracking players like Eze, Michael Olise, who Chelsea failed to sign. They have strikers like Edward. They are a solid forward-thinking team. They have Jordan Ayew, the Ghanaian is still there, so they have enough to secure the 12th place. For me, 11th place will be Brentford. Despite losing Ivan Toney to gambling scandal, he was banned till January, but I see them staying afloat till January before Toney comes back and really starts firing on all cylinders. He'll be very hungry when he comes back. So I see them finishing 11th. I see West Ham, the Europa Conference League winners, as 10th position. This shows the depth of strength of the Premier League teams for a team of West Ham's pedigree to finish 10th. It shows the Premier League is really, really strong. I don't have much to say about them. They sold their best player and captain Declan Rice to Arsenal, but they replaced him well with players like Edson Alvarez, with good players like James Ward-Prowse. They signed Kudus from Ajax, quality Champions League player. So I see them finishing 10th. Then Aston Villa, I see Aston Villa finishing 9th, mostly because of Unai Emery, the coach. And I tip Aston Villa to win one of the domestic league titles this season, probably the Carling Cup or the FA Cup. So I see them finishing 9th. Of course, they have good players like Jacob Ramsey. They have good players. One of the best strikers in the league in Oli Watkins and co. So they should be 9th position. Then 8th position, unfortunately for them, will be Chelsea, because they have European aspirations. They have Premier League contending aspirations. But from what I've seen this season, they've spent 1 billion to go backwards. Since the beginning of last year that the American ownership came in, Todd Boehly, they've spent over £1 billion. That is almost as much as Guardiola have spent since he joined Manchester City over 5 years ago. They spent it in under 18 months, and they are nowhere near the top 4 places for me. I don't see enough goals. They lost Nkunku to injury. He's the only prolific goal scorer on the team. And of course, he has not even proven himself in the Premier League, but let's just say he's the only prolific goal scorer that they have. They signed the young Nicole Jackson from Villarreal. He's not doing really well. Of course, he's a nuisance to defenders, but he's not really scoring. He missed the one-on-one chance against Nottingham Forest in their last match. So for me, they are going to be 8th. They are going to struggle for goals. They'll find goal scoring to be difficult this season for them. So for me, the number 7 will be Newcastle. I see Newcastle sliding back to the 7th position. They didn't really strengthen their teams. They took the Premier League for granted because they finished 4th place last season, but they didn't know that teams like Liverpool were weak, Tottenham were weak. So they didn't strengthen. They bought the only key player they bought was Tonali from AC Milan. Of course, they bought Avi Barnes from relegated Leicester, but for me, Tonali was the only major signing they made. So they are going to, of course, they've already lost 3 straight matches this season, and I see them finishing 7th, respectfully. Number 6 would be Manchester United. For me, Manchester United are the teams going through more chaos than any other team presently in the Premier League. Their coach, Eric Ten Hag, is busy fighting his players left, right, and center. Of course, those players are not helping matters. Players like Anthony Greenwood that has joined La Liga team on loan. You have Anthony, who is also in a scandal with women accusing him of assault left, right, and center. And you have Jadon Sancho battling with his coach. So I don't really see them. In fact, the respect that I have for Manchester United is why I put them 6th on my rankings, on my Premier League table rankings. It's just the respect that I have for them. My surprise team of the year and my underrated team of the year is Brighton, of course, who just walloped Manchester United this last match day at Old Trafford. That's the first match Ten Hag will lose in the Premier League at Old Trafford. It was a relatively comfortable 3-1 victory for them, with old Manchester United player Welbeck scoring in that match. So I see Brighton really, of course, I see they are the best run team in the Premier League for now. They have one of the best coaches in Djcharlie, and I don't know who scouts talent for them. They will buy somebody for 2 million or 0 million and sell him for 100 million. It's just surprisingly, this transfer window alone, they collected over 200 million from Chelsea Football Club, and they have replaced those players with even better players. Imagine buying Mitoma for 2 million in January, and if Mitoma wants to leave at the end of the season, he's going to go for nothing less than 100 million. I'm jealous of that club and the way they are being run. So for me, with star players like Mitoma, Julio, and Saiso, young players like that, you have established players like Pastor Cross, Lewis Dunk, Estupinian, the left back. They have a well-run team. I'm shocked by the quality of their squad, despite selling players they made over 300 million pounds just this transfer we do from selling players, and they still have that depth in that squad. It's very, very frightening. Number 4 for me, the top 4 teams that will be in next season's Champions League. For me, the 4th place team will be Tottenham. Pastor Toglu has done a miracle job since joining from Celtic. And he lost his best player in England's star striker, Harry Kane, to Bayern Munich. I thought their season was off, but they've been impressing me with their style of play. Free-flowing attacking football. This last match day, they were one goal behind till the 98th minutes against Sheffield United, and Djcharlie, their striker, has not scored in over 28 matches since he joined them in the Premier League last season. He came in and scored a great header in the 98th minute, and also assisted Kulusevski, the winger they bought from Juve, to score the winning goal. So the winning mentality Pastor Toglu is building there, coupled with signing Maddison, the Leicester playmaker, who they signed and already has 2 goals and 3 assists, and of course he won the August Player of the Month. Yu Min-son is still there, the star striker from South Korea is still there. So with that squad, I think they have enough to finish as the 4th place team. Number 3 for me is also this decision was hard for me. It was between Liverpool and Arsenal to be 3rd and 2nd, but I have to go for Liverpool as 3rd because of Arsenal's better defense. That's the only reason why. Attacking wise in the Premier League this season, if not for Haaland, I would have said Liverpool has the best attack. You look at their forward players, you have the likes of Momo Salah, for me, the second best player in the Premier League after Kevin De Bruyne, and for me, it's still better than Haaland. What he can bring on a game-to-game basis is more than Haaland. Haaland is a productive, great goal scorer, but his game has not fully matured for me. Because if Haaland does not score in a match, that means he has not performed. That means he's out of that match. He does not bring his teammates along. He still needs to improve his gameplay. Of course, I will not deny the fact that he's the greatest goal scorer in the world right now. He's the best goal scorer in the world right now. But for me, De Bruyne and Salah are still better players. Those are still my top 2 Premier League players. Haaland is the third for me. So you still have Salah there in Liverpool. Of course, you have Luis Diaz on the opposite flag. You have Diego Jota backing them up. Of course, you have Darwin Núñez, the Uruguayan striker, is still there. You have good Cody Gakpo. Of course, you see those 5 attackers. They are the 5 best attackers on a single team. That's just for me. So, and you have midfielders like Dominic Slobozai. You have good midfielders like that, and they usually sign Gravenberch from Bayern Munich. You have his name seems to evade me right now. They signed him from Brighton, and the Argentine midfielder, he settled in well. You understand? You have quality players like that. Of course, you still have the effervescent best goalkeeper in the league in Alisson. You still have Van Dijk, on his day, still one of the best defenders in the world. You have Alexander-Arnold, one of the most creative fullbacks. Of course, you have Andre Robertson on the other wing, one of the best, most consistent left backs in world football. So they still have enough on that squad to finish third. They were lacking in the midfield before, and they have changed. They are starting 3 midfielders: Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, and Thiago Alcantara in one single window. So we replace them with younger and fresher legs. So for me, they will finish third this season. For me, Arsenal will struggle. They will push the eventual champions Manchester City, but they will fall short once again, like they did last season, and finish second. Manchester City is just a machine right now. Any other leagues, for me, if Arsenal were in La Liga, they will win. Like they are a better team than Barcelona and Real Madrid for now. I'm sorry if I offend anybody by that. But for me, they have a more balanced squad than those teams. Of course, if they were in Syria, they are better than Napoli. They are better than AC Milan, Inter Milan. But they are, unfortunately, they are in the same league with the best team in the world right now in Manchester City, coached by the best coach in the world and the best young striker in the world. Of course, they have, for me, so that's why Arsenal will finish second. They will push Man City to the end, but they will eventually fall short once more to Manchester City, the team that will finish first, that has finished first 4 of the last 5 Premier League seasons, which is the record, by the way, in recent times. So for me, they will finish second. You get me? Likes of Saka and Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus will improve, including their club captain Martin Odegaard. They will improve. I see improvement from Declan Rice, improvement for William Saliba. Thomas Partey is still there. You have great players from. In fact, if you look at Arsenal's bench right now, you'll be shocked to see players that can start elsewhere. That's the quality that Arsenal has, but unfortunately, they will finish second once more. And the eventual champion and the team that will finish first is still Manchester City. I don't have anything to say other than that. I don't want to waste my saliva talking about that. When Guardiola joined England, people were saying, this is the Premier League. He can't do anything. He can't do anything. Of course, he has won 5 league titles in England in 7 seasons. And he can't do anything. So, of course, another thing they said last season when Alan was joining, a team that was the top scorer in Europe signed one of the best goal scorers, and they were saying he's not going to score. When there are playmakers in that squad, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Djcharlie, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Ike Gundogan, Rodri, to say the least, they say he can't score. He's not going to score. Of course, he scored 53 goals in just 52 matches in his first season. They said that's because it's his first season, that they will have get him now. Blah, blah, blah. He already has 7 goals for 5 league matches. So, this season already. And he's going to be the runaway player of the season and the runaway highest goal scorer especially now that Hurricane is no longer in the Premier League. So for me, they are going to comfortably finish as the #1 team this season in the Premier League, and they are going to win the Champions League again, back to back. That's my prediction for the Premier League standings. So next segment will be about the other awards, Premier League awards for this coming season. Thanks and God bless. That is that about English Premier League predictions for this segment. Thank you. For more of these entertaining segments, opinions, and insight into all team sport, entertainment, society, lifestyle, and politics, click on the link below to subscribe and join my YouTube channel at Djcharlie Sports World. Peace.